Am I the gay hoe for leaving my boyfriend's promotion party after his speech? I, 29 female, had been with my boyfriend, 32 male, for almost 3 years. He recently got a big promotion at work, and honestly, I was so proud of him. I helped him prep for it, I supported him during all the stressful weeks, picked up extra stuff at home so he could focus. Anyway, he threw a party to celebrate, a fancy rooftop thing, catered food, drinks, and a lot of co-workers and friends, even some family. All good. At one point, he got up to give a little speech and started thanking people, his boss, his co-workers, his parents, and then he goes, "And of course, thanks to my girlfriend for putting up with me basically being a ghost the last few months. You deserve a medal or something." People laughed, I kinda smiled, but it felt off. Then he followed it up with, "She's not climbing the corporate ladder or anything, but she keeps the house running and makes sure that I don't starve." Yeah, that's not a good thing to say. More laughs. I just stood there feeling like I'd been slapped in front of everybody. No mention of how I supported him emotionally. Nothing about how I helped him with burnout or took on extra stuff to make his life easier. Just some weak jokes at my expense. I didn't say anything, I just left, quietly. I texted him that I was going home. He didn't even notice I was gone until like 2 hours after. When he got home, he was pissed. Said that I embarrassed him and that it was just a joke. Said that I was too sensitive and I ruined his night. Some of his friends agree with him, but mine say that I had every right to feel hurt. So, am I the a-hole for walking out? No, you're not the a-hole for leaving. Your boyfriend was an a-hole to you for no reason. This is not how you should talk about your partner, especially in a speech. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be rude to my partner in front of everybody, come on. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. He told you and the crowd exactly what he thinks of you. Instead of acknowledging how you've supported him, he made some demeaning comments at your expense. They weren't jokes. Yeah, but then has the audacity to be like, "Oh, I was only joking. You're being too sensitive." That's not even what it's about. It's about the fact that you don't demean your partner like that, especially during a speech in front of everybody. The top comment says, not the a-hole. She's not climbing the corporate ladder or anything, but she keeps the house running and makes sure that I don't starve. He should have stopped after a medal or something. The last bit was condescending and dismissive. And you didn't storm out, you just didn't hang around. And he didn't even notice anyway. So was he pissed off that you weren't there to clean up after the party? There are two kinds of partners. Those who build up their partners in front of others, knowing that people will tend to think, hey, what a guy to deserve such a great girl. And others who feel the need to be dismissive of their partner's contribution to their life. Most people look at the latter as, what a jerk. Yeah, why does she put up with that kind of crap? Yeah, 100%. 100% Nez. And she's gone. He might want to watch out because he may find himself starving soon. Yeah, I've never thought that making fun of your partner was funny. It's so weird. And also, on top of that, the fact that he came home angry at OP, saying that OP humiliated him, he didn't apologize or anything. Like, that just makes it even worse. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. We're reading, I think, 7 Am I the Gay Hole stories today. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Am I the A-hole stories. I don't know why, but Nez and Jin haven't really wanted to sit in the basket today. I'm hoping that does change during this episode, but if it doesn't, I want to show you this picture that I took last night. There's a bed sort of right behind me over here, and then right next to me in front of me, there's a TV. So Chloe and I always sit there and watch TV with the cats, and Nez and Jin were like licking each other and stuff. And then they started resting with their heads like leant up against each other. As you can see here, it was so cute. Okay, am I the gay hole time? Am I the gay hole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids after she embarrassed me at a family dinner? So I, 17 female, have an older sister, Lisa, 27 female, who has 3 kids, 6 male, 4 female, and 2 female. She's always asked me to babysit for free, and I usually do it because I love my nieces and nephew. But lately, I feel like she's been taking advantage of me. Last weekend, we had a big family dinner at my parents' house. Everything was fine until my mum jokingly mentioned how I've been focusing on school a lot lately. And Lisa goes, yeah, because she doesn't have a life otherwise. No boyfriend, no social life, just stuck at home doing math. I laughed it off at first, but she kept on going, making jokes about how I'm basically a live-in nanny and how she's doing me a favor by giving me something to do. The whole table was laughing and I was sitting there embarrassed as hell. My dad even said, Lisa, that's enough, but she shrugged it off. I was so mad that I decided right then and there that I was done. The next time she texted me, hey, can you watch the kids Saturday? I just replied, no, I'm busy. She asked me with what? And I said, finding a life. Now she's furious, saying that I'm being childish and punishing her kids over a joke. OP's punishing your kids when you caused this problem? Come on. Oh, what's accountability for my actions? I've never even heard of that. Even my mum saying that I should be the bigger person, aka keep the peace, but I feel like if I don't set a boundary now, she'll keep on walking all over me. Yeah, she 100% will, OP. Am I the a-hole? No. Yeah, no, you're definitely not the a-hole, OP, and you're completely right about the fact that if you kept the peace here, she would continue to walk all over you. Like, if there are no consequences for her actions here, she's gonna feel like she can do this again and again and again, especially if your mum's gonna back her up. This comment says, not the a-hole. Tell your mum I'm finding a life. You should support me, not enabling a-hole behavior. Why don't you babysit and then walk away? Yeah, I feel like the mum really dropped the ball here. Like, hey, why don't you tell the sister not to speak to OP like this? Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole, you should be the bigger person. She's 27 years old, for f***'s sake. Yeah, that's right, OP's 17. Yeah, no, the sister's 27. They can be the bigger person. She was relying on you for childcare, and instead of being appreciative, all over you in front of your family. She made her bed and she can lay in it while she's watching her own damn kids. The sister should have been appreciative of what OP's been doing. But no, instead they insult them. Yeah, and the second top comment. Yeah, that's a big mess around and find out, Lisa. Enjoy your Saturday night at home with the kids. Yeah, completely mess around and find out. It's another actions have consequences one, which the sister is only gonna learn if OP stands up for themselves. If they cave and they give into it to keep the peace like their mum wants them to, then the sister will keep on doing it again and again. Like, I don't know if it's a jealousy sort of thing, like the older sister is jealous of the younger sister, probably because they have more free time. Like, that is definitely really common. People are jealous of other people, so they try to put them down. But yeah, are you the gay hole here, OP? Absolutely not. Am I the gay hole for telling my neighbor that I dated her husband? I, 33 female, became friendly with my neighbor, 37 female, let's call her Emily, after I helped her move a few boxes into our building while her husband, 35 male, was in the hospital. I didn't meet Emily's husband until a few weeks later when she invited me over to dinner as thanks. When I arrived first, Emily's husband had run out to pick up some wine, but when he came back, I was shocked to see Matt, a guy that I'd gone on 3 dates with a year ago before he suddenly ghosted me. He had a terrible poker face and tried to pretend like he didn't recognize me. I don't play those games. I asked how long they'd been married and Emily said 3 years. She recognized there was tension and asked if we knew each other. He said no. I said yes, and I told Emily that I'd gone on dates with him a year ago. She became very upset and asked me to leave, which I did. The next day, Emily reached out and said that she didn't appreciate that I lied about when I dated her husband. He told her that we had dated 4 years ago, before they were married. I didn't even live in this city 4 years ago. And even if we had dated 4 years ago, they'd been engaged at that point. Either way, he would have been cheating. I sent her screenshots of our text from the year before, and from Bumble of his profile, which was still active. She never responded, but when I saw her in the lobby yesterday, she wouldn't even look me in the eye. I don't know if they're still together, and Emily hasn't responded to my text, so am I the gay hole for telling her the truth? Update, Emily just stopped by. We had a quick chat, but she let me know that she kicked Matt out, and she thanked me for telling the truth. She also found out that I was not the only person he dated while they were married. I'm giving her space now, but I did want to share an update since it happened so fast after posting. Yeah, well, that's what he gets for cheating. Yeah, like the response says, I'm glad she's not mad at you, and that she kicked that a-hole out. Yeah, that was a good update. I'm so happy that they kicked him out too. No, not the a-hole, OP, you did the right thing. And oh my god, do actions have consequences? That's what you get for being a cheating dirtbag. You don't owe it to him to keep quiet about it, and also she deserved to know. I'm so happy that she kicked him out though, that's such a good update. And also the fact that she's not angry at OP. Yeah, like the comment below that says, he knew the risk and he got caught. It's not on you, you're not there to condone his actions. And the comment below that says, not the a-hole, you didn't cause the problem, you just exposed it. Dude literally ghosted you and is still on Bumble. If Emily's mad at anybody, it should be her lying, cheating husband, not you. You did her a favor even if she's not ready to see it yet. Yeah, and that's what ended up happening, so that's a good outcome. The next one says, am I the gay hole for asking my friend to leave my birthday party because she brought her crying baby? I, 27 female, recently threw a birthday party at my apartment. It was a pretty low-key gathering with about 10 friends, lots of snacks, a couple of drinks, and just a fun night hanging out. Everything was going fine until my friend Sarah, 28 female, showed up with her 7-month-old baby. Now, I love Sarah and I know she's a mum, but I wasn't expecting her to bring the baby to a party, especially since we had planned to play games and drink and chat. The baby started crying almost immediately when they walked in, and Sarah tried to calm her down, but she was clearly struggling. At first I thought it was just a momentary thing, but the crying continued for almost an hour. Super loud and non-stop. It was hard to hear anything over the noise, and some of the other guests were getting visibly uncomfortable. I eventually pulled Sarah aside and I asked her if she could maybe step outside with the baby or take a break in the other room until the baby calmed down. I explained that it was just hard to enjoy the party with the crying. She was clearly upset and told me that I should be more understanding since she can't just leave the baby at home, and she was doing her best to keep her calm. She ended up leaving shortly after and now she's not speaking to me. I feel bad because I know that being a mum's hard, but I also feel like it was my birthday and I wanted to have a good time without the crying baby. Some people think I was rude for asking her to leave, while others think that I was only trying to protect the vibe of the party. Am I the a-hole? Once again, no. This comment says not the a-hole. I'm a parent and I wouldn't bring a baby to a party. Sometimes being a parent sucks and you have to miss out on things, but it's what you signed up for. The top comment says not the a-hole. Her child is not your responsibility, and her inability to find childcare so she can attend an adult function is not your problem to solve. Her giving you the silent treatment is called emotional blackmail. When it starts, it never ends. Hold firm and don't give in. She's the one who decided to bring their baby. She's the one who decided to leave. She's the one who's trying to punish you by using the silent treatment. She can be the one to reconnect and apologize. Anything short of that is unacceptable. She's beyond rude. The comment below that says not the a-hole. Sarah should have had the consideration to remove the baby from the room herself before having to be asked to do so. Yeah, their baby was crying like the whole time. The comment below that one says you asked her to step outside. The baby cried non-stop for an hour. You did what any gracious host would have done. Thank your lucky stars that she's mad at you and not talking to you. Keep doing what you're doing and do not apologize. She should have apologized to you for her crying baby and the damper that it put on the party. If she doesn't contact you, remind her that nobody enjoyed hearing her baby cry for an hour and that you only asked her to step outside until she could calm her baby. Don't apologize. You did the right thing. Okay, Nez is here and hopefully she stays for like longer than 2 minutes. The comment below that says not the a-hole. I'm a mother and I know how hard it can be to try and get out with the baby. That said though, if your baby's seriously going off and won't settle, the only option is to leave. She shouldn't have waited for so long before doing that. Still, if you care about the friendship, I'd reach out to her. She's probably struggling right now. Yeah, for sure, if they will talk to OP. Because they're not even talking to OP at the moment because they're upset at OP. So yeah, I don't think OP should apologize. But yeah, maybe reaching out to them would be a good idea if they're even gonna talk to OP. Like that other comment said, they're giving OP the silent treatment when OP doesn't need to feel guilty, and if anything, Sarah should be apologizing to OP. Yeah, very much a not the a-hole consensus here. And also, it doesn't need to be a big deal either. By the sounds of it, OP was polite. OP wasn't even asking them to leave. After listening to their baby crying for an hour, they were like, hey, could you go into the other room and maybe like try to calm down the baby? Like, that's not rude. One of the top comments says, not the a-hole. The very least she could have done is clear it with you first. I absolutely understand the need for a new mother to try and reconnect or maintain connections with their friends, but that can't come at the cost of other people's enjoyment. Hey, I'm struggling a lot and I really need this, but unfortunately I don't have anybody who can watch my baby. Would it be okay if I come by for just an hour? Could I use your room if I need to? I'll head out as soon as it becomes too much. And the response says, came here to say this. I think it's important to try to have some compassion for Sarah in case she needed the connection, but she should have been asking first. OP, you don't need to apologize, but you could consider checking in on her to make sure that she's okay. The next one says, am I the gay hole for not following my husband's family tradition? Oh, here we go. We've read about these family traditions and they're always bad. My 28 female husband, 29 male, comes from a very traditional family. While we disagree with his family on many things, it's never really been an issue until now. I'm currently 8 months pregnant and my husband and I couldn't be happier, as we've been trying for a while. Since I first found out that I was pregnant, we've been discussing names for our child. In my husband's family, the tradition wants the child to be named after his grandfather. Basically, firstborn men in his family only have one of two names, James or Henry. My husband's grandfather was James, so his name's James too. My husband's father is called Henry, so our child should be too. and so on and so forth. I do not understand these traditions. Okay, so you have no choice in what you're gonna name your son? Get out of here. But my husband and I didn't really feel like calling our child Henry, and although it's a beautiful way to honor family members, we really wanted our child to have a name that would be personal, that would truly be his. So we chose another name, and we decided to wait until after the birth to reveal it to everybody. Before we read any more, I am so happy that OP's partner isn't trying to force the tradition onto them, because we've read about that before and it's so frustrating. Like, I'm so happy that neither of them want to name their kid Henry, and it's not like OP's partner and their family are trying to force the name onto OP. This week my mother-in-law came to visit us and help us set up for the baby. She brought us some presents, amongst which was a bunch of clothes on which she had embroidered the name Henry. Oh my god. I said that it was nice and I thanked her for it, but I told her that we wouldn't be naming our child Henry, as we had already told her in the past. Wow, you've already told her that. And she still did it. She started insisting and saying that it was a tradition, so it had to be that way. I explained to her that we'd rather give our child a name that we chose and that Henry could be his middle name. She immediately went to my husband and started saying stuff like, "You're not going to let her do that to our family," and making it very dramatic, saying that I was breaking a tradition that went back hundreds of years. Honestly, not sure about that. My husband tried to explain that we both agreed on the name and all the reasons why we made that choice, but she wouldn't listen. She suggested that we name him Henry on paper as his legal name and then call him something else, but I thought that would be confusing for him, and I told her that he would be named what we chose. She kept on begging my husband and saying that I was ruining the family tradition, and at one point I lost it, which is partially to blame on hormones, I think. I told her that it was our child, so we did what we wanted, and we didn't have to follow a stupid tradition. She stormed out, and my husband has since gotten texts from his father and sister accusing me of making his mother feel really bad, and some other stuff that I don't really remember. I do get the importance of tradition, and it can be really beautiful, but I also feel that it shouldn't be an obligation. And it's okay to change things. We won't change our baby's name because we're set on it. But maybe we were wrong for not following the tradition? I'm not entirely sure, and I'm mentally exhausted by all the drama. I feel like you know that you're not the a-hole OP. Like the top comment says, "I'll never understand this. What if your family had the same tradition? Who wins? Not the a-hole in the slightest." Yeah, that's such a good point. Like what, you get all the say? Get out of here. Like that comment said, what if your family had the same tradition? Yeah, how you feel about your own baby's name doesn't even matter because of a dumb tradition? So silly. Congratulations on your pregnancy, and give your sweet boy whatever name you and your husband choose. Edit to add, if you were having a girl, would you be in the clear to name her whatever? Grr, angry face. And OP said, honestly, no idea. And it's so confusing and unpractical too. Thank you so much. The second top comment says your husband needs to snap back and say, "This is my decision," instead of allowing them to blame you. And OP said he's been trying to, but his family won't listen. And they're convinced that I manipulated him or something. But at least he's standing up to them, so there's that at least. Yeah, that's so typical. Like they're convinced that OP is the problem. This comment says, let mother-in-law know that you're now hyphenating the last name too. And OP said, we have hyphenated our last names back when we got married. They weren't happy about that one either. I 100% agree with that bit where OP said that traditions can be beautiful, but they shouldn't be obligations. Like the second that it's a tradition where you have to do it and you don't have a choice, especially when it's over something like the name of your own child. Like, excuse me, I don't have a choice in what I'm gonna name my son? Get the hell out of here. The next one says, am I the gay-hole for yelling at a mum and her kid to get out of my home? A few months ago, I28 Female started a new D&D campaign and I invited a few friends. One of them, Sarah, asked if her friend Anne could join. Anne's a mum who doesn't get many chances to hang out with adults, so I agreed, even though I knew that she might be flaky due to childcare responsibilities. I asked Anne if she could attend at least the first few sessions to get familiar with the game, and she agreed. She then proceeded to cancel, mainly last minute, every proposed first session for the first 2 months. I told her that I'm sorry, but if she can't make it to the next proposed session, she won't be in long campaigns. Still welcome to join one shot. She apologized and said that she'd make it. She made it, but she brought her toddler without asking. As soon as they came, their kid needed to use the bathroom. He made a mess since he can't fully use an adult toilet yet. I told Anne that's fine, but I asked her to clean it up, and that surprised her, and she started being a bit on edge. We finally sat down at the table table and the kid started running around looking for things to do. I was a bit stressed out by this and noticed and put him in her lap, but now the kid was at the table, which was covered in minifigures, dice and pretty pictures and maps, most being a choking hazard along with glasses of various drinks. The kid started fussing about wanting to play with them. I was telling Anne no because it's not safe. She told me that he's gentle and doesn't put stuff like that in his mouth. We bickered while her kid was throwing a tantrum. After the kid knocked over a glass, I loudly asked her to step out into the backyard and calm him down a bit while I make the table safer. She did, visibly embarrassed, and I removed everything except for plain looking papers, pens and paper cups. I also did my best to calm down as this entire thing stressed me out to hell and back at this point. Then they came back and things were fine for a minute. That is until my dog came out of my bedroom to drink water. Now, I don't have many rules, but I do have one. Ignore the dog. They were informed of that before coming over. The kid spotted her and yelled, "Doggy!" and put him down to say hi. He made a full speed beeline at my dog while making grabbing motions and yelling. I stopped him by stepping out in front of him. He ran into me, fell down and started crying and started screaming at me. I screamed back and very swiftly told her to get the F out of my home. Sarah was annoyed and told us that it took them an hour and a half to get to me, then went with Anne because they carpooled. The rest stayed and it was awkward for half an hour or so, but we did end up having fun and they even stayed for the night. I then woke up to the local Facebook groups and people on Instagram stories calling me a controlling a-hole, saying that I'm discriminating against various players, being too strict and having a dangerous dog. To add insult to injury, Sarah, who I've been friends with for years, is not speaking to me. So am I the a-hole? Yeah, once again, it's a very much not the a-hole consensus here. The top comment says not the a-hole if she couldn't find childcare. The least she should have done is reach out to you to make sure that she can bring her toddler to your house. The second that she didn't want to clean up after her kid is when I would have kicked her out. But she should never have brought him without clearing it with you first. The second top comment says not the a-hole, but as a guest, I would be thankful that you kicked them out. I would want to say something to them myself, but it not being my home, it's not my place. If you allowed them to continue to come, I would opt out of playing altogether. Also, after waiting all this time for the new campaign to start, just to have it ruined would have pushed me over the edge. I'm patient, but to a point, and I don't tolerate blatant disrespect, which is what this was from Sarah as well as Anne. And I would have called her out. You didn't bring anything to keep him occupied? It doesn't take being a parent yourself to understand basic crap about kids, aka they get bored easy, especially around a bunch of adults who are preoccupied with adult things. The comment below that says, speaking as a player and back in the day DM, dating back to original D&D and AD&D 1E, there's no real way to childproof a D&D match with dice and figurines, encounters and all the rest, not even to mention the drinks and the food and whatnot. It's unreasonable to show up with a toddler and expect everybody else to adjust, especially if the DM has spent time and effort preparing the game. If you're a guest in somebody else's home, you don't let your kid roam free. If your kid throws a tantrum, it's your job to get them away from others and deal with it. If your kid can't use the toilet properly, it's your job to clean it up. If you're told to stay away from the dog, it's your job to keep your kid away from the dog. You're absolutely not the a-hole. The next one says, am I the a-hole for refusing to drive if my wife is in the car? For years after we got married, I could never figure out why I would be so angry and so moody anytime my wife and I went somewhere. And then it finally clicked. I was only in a bad mood if I drove with my wife. My wife is the absolute worst backseat driver that I've ever seen. Doesn't matter how I drive, she still finds things to complain about. Oh, that's so toxic. Why did you go this way? If you would have went that way, we would be there by now. You're driving too fast. You're driving too slow. You could have made that light unfucking real. That light was red and you blew through it. Can you brake any harder, idiot? She calls you an idiot? Oh my god. There were 17 great parking spots and you had to choose parking spot 18, which is the absolute worst. You turn your blinker on too late. You turn your blinker on too early. Why are you accelerating so slowly? Whoa, was it necessary to accelerate that quick? How are you with this person? So for the past couple of years, I've refused to drive. I now make her do all the driving. And lo and behold, I'm no longer a grumpy person when we travel. OP, are you telling me that they're only like this when they're in the car? Surely in other parts of your relationship, they would be doing similar stuff to this. Like, are they a wonderful partner, but they just backseat drive really bad and call you an idiot? Yeah, I don't know if I believe that. And now she's gotten upset that she's now always driving and told me that I needed to at least split driving 50-50 with her. I told her that if she could keep her opinions to herself while I was driving, then I would. And she agreed. So last weekend, I started driving. She couldn't even last 3 minutes without criticizing my driving. I pulled over and I told her I'm done. Either she takes over driving or we're going home. She eventually took the wheel. As she muttered that I drive like a moron, even though there's only one of us who has any tickets, kids and has at-fault accidents on their record, and it's not me. So am I the a-hole for refusing to drive if she's present? No, but I feel like you're a bit of an a-hole to yourself for even being with this person. Yeah, like this comment says. Also, OP, does your wife normally call you names? I find it hard to believe that this woman's pleasant in the rest of the time and is only behaving like this in the car. Something that I've never mentioned in episodes before is that Chloe is in the room with me a lot when I'm filming, so she hears a lot of the stuff that I read. And not only do these sorts of relationship ones blow my mind, but they also blow Chloe's mind. Like, we have never called each other names. Like the fact that this person is so happy to call their partner an idiot and a moron. Yeah, like one of the top comments says, not the a-hole. Have you two talked about not putting each other down and not belittling each other? I would never be with somebody that called me an idiot. The comment below that says, not the a-hole and your wife needs some therapy or anger management. Sheesh. The comment below that one says, not the a-hole. This hostility goes beyond backseat driving. She sounds like a very angry person. Normally, I'd suggest doing the same to her when she drives, but she won't get the point. Throw the whole woman away. And the comment below that says, not the a-hole. I bet this isn't the only time that she's abusive. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a pretty hard time believing that they're super nice and respectful to OP in every other aspect of their relationship, but they're only rude and condescending when OP's driving. I doubt it somehow. This comment says, that's not just light belittling either. That's heading towards abusive territory. I wonder if she's also that bad at home. Not cool at all. Yeah, that's enough for today, everybody. I hope you had a fun time. Time to read something wholesome. The nail set that I wanted to get this time was my baby's color palette. Wait, this is the cutest thing that I've ever seen. Oh, that is so cute. So they took like the color picker thing and got the exact colors of their cat. That is so beautiful. And it actually looks really good too. I think that about Nez all the time. She has such beautiful colors. Like she has really bright white fur here, but like really dark black fur as well. And also like this caramel sort of color. So beautiful. Once again, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. If you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day goes to Sandstorm3363. I have secured the goose. And what a beautiful goose she is. Ah, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure Nez appreciates it too. I feel like she knows that she's a beautiful goose. And fair enough too. She definitely is. Thank you for the support, everybody. And I'm sorry if I was a bit intense in today's episode. I don't even know why, but I had a lot of energy in today's episode. Just excited, I guess. Okay, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!